for 9,000!
To contain the explosion, the engine uses a cylinder, and fitting snugly within the cylinder, a piston that slides up and down.
One second, folks. We're having some technical difficulties. Just give me a half second. Got to work this out. Good evening and welcome to the ISRC race number 5. This is going to be at Mid-Ohio. This is a really long track. These guys are running about a minute and 30 seconds for the whole track to finish, from start to finish for one lap. So it's going to be a long one. Let's go ahead and go into the info about this series, and then we'll talk about the format for tonight's race. Host is Andrew Combs. Broadcasting is done by Death by Moose Media, and commentary is done by me, Randall Alvarez. And in tonight, I have with me Dave Arnold. How are you doing tonight?
Doing excellent, Randall. A little bit different than actually calling live racing, but I'll tell you, if you look at it, you can't even tell the difference. This is awesome. Very impressed with these setups here.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. When I got into this, I was pretty blown away with what you could do. So for format for tonight, we're doing a Mid-Ohio road course for the track. Cup car is going to be the cars going to run. Qualifying is going to be 15 minutes. I know it says 10, but we're on 10 right now. Feature is going to be 51 laps and no stages, so these guys are going to have to go all the way with green flag pits if they can make it, and if any cautions come out, they're going to have to take advantage of those situations.
Hey, I think that's the way a race should be ran, without stages in the first place. You see the green flag, you race unless there's a caution until that checkered flag comes out. Staging just makes it easy for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm old school.
That's really what it does.
Yeah. But very impressed with the setup here. Mid-Ohio, one of my favorite tracks. I've actually raced this track myself in real life quite a few years ago. But, man, just seeing the way the setup here, the lines on them are very similar. And to see, like, these style of, NASCAR Cup car styles set up on a road course, that's one of my favorite. That really separates real drivers. Anybody can turn left all day, throw a right turn in there, and you got some talent.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Road courses in NASCAR Cup cars, it's for me, it's kind of like going back to seeing some of the street stocks and stuff like that go through the courses where they're not really technically designed for it, but it takes a lot more talent to really get these cars to work.
And I noticed, like back in the day with NASCAR, Robbie Gordon, Boris Said would jump in there. Brendan Gaughan would do really well on the road courses. Some guys just have it. Some guys, drive any type of track.
Yeah, that's. That's one way to put it, especially when you're going from like oval and then you hit road. Oval, it's a lot of close quarters driving. Road, it's you really have to know the track, especially with some of these corners on Mid-Ohio. It's almost a blind turn. It's kind of like Laguna Seca where you have your your corkscrew going down. Some of the corners you have to have memorized. So these guys have to put in time. They have to learn how to work the car. I was able to throw a couple laps down. Didn't go well for me.
Now, you were saying that this track's a little, the setup's a little tight.
It's tight.
And braking is going to be real crucial on this track you were mentioning.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are going to have to be taking it really easy on the brake. I noticed that, at least with the setup that they have right now, the brakes aren't locking up on you, but they feel stiff. Is the only way I can explain it. You feel like you're trying to brake, but it's not really engaging. So these guys have to be careful because they have a lot of horsepower. As you can see right there, he just kicked out a little bit. And these guys are taking corners at first gear, which means you have a lot of torque behind those wheels when you come out of the corner, and you have to be careful.
Yeah, that's when you get the wheel spin if you're not having that throttle control too. Throttle control is everything when it comes to this type of racing. In fact, any type of racing will be correct.
Change up a little bit of the camera angles for you guys, but yeah, it's gonna be a doozy. Oh, I just noticed something. Sorry about that, everyone out there. So let's go ahead and run through the field a little bit and talk about some of the drivers. And we'll start off with, looks like the field we're having 13 drivers that are loaded. 14th isn't in yet, but we have waiting for the paints to load. Just give me a second.
Something very cool. You see all white cars, and then all of a sudden the paint scheme pops on it.
Yeah. All right, looks like
Those are
Jack's
some fast vinyl wrappers.
Eventually, we'll be able to do that in real life. Just roll your car through, and it'll change color.
Yeah, there you go. Electronic paint schemes. I like it.
Exactly. So we have Robbie Oddie, who is running in the number 12. He is our actually first place finisher from the last race. Robbie Oddie's a fast oval driver. I've never seen him take road courses. So I'm actually pretty curious to see how he handles it. He said that he didn't really like the way the track was running. He said it was a little stiff when I was reading through some of the chats. But we'll see how he handles it and how he does out there. Usually he's a really good driver in general. So right now it looks like he's handling the track pretty decent.
A lot of guys will run, I think, a tight oval, and they have to learn that throttle control. I think that's going to be an advantage in this versus running a larger oval style.
Yeah, and Robbie Oddie also races for 408 Racing. That is a team with, I believe, Dana Cruz and a couple other guys. Yeah, so I believe Dana Cruz owns that one. Let me just... Yeah, so he's going to be racing with Corbin Collins, who... Oh, no, that guy's substitute. Yeah, so, sorry. It's Darius owns... Dana's a different one. Oop, and looks like Robbie went off the track a little bit. But yeah, so Robbie Oddie and Darius race for 408. Let's go ahead and jump over to Andrew Singleton, who's been a really good runner for most of the series. Racing in the number 22 All Black Techni Autosports. He races for C4 Autosports. No, sorry, C4 Esports. And I haven't seen him take a road course either. So a lot of these guys, this is pretty like a first for them. Last season we only had ovals. This is a first for road courses. So a lot of these guys, I really don't know what's going to happen when they hit the course with these Cup cars. It looks like they're handling it pretty well, but we'll see how it comes out.
They're really looking at these guys hitting their lines and their marks when they come in. And you can say it's going to be a challenge for a few of them.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. And we also have Andrew Ruiz running in the number 9. We also have another... Oh, no, he's not racing with us today. So Andrew Ruiz is running with the Autism Speaks. He also races for Midwest Motorsports. Owner is Jaden. Hopefully he... Oh, Jaden Kratasi. Yeah, he's out here tonight. So let's jump over to Jaden. Jaden running in the R&B Company paint scheme. Jaden actually races... I want to say limited late models or... I forgot which car he races. Sorry, Jaden. It's my bad.
Is that in the real life or in
the
iRacing? Okay.
He races real life.
So he's probably done some of the Lucas Oil modified races.
I don't think so.
They're all over the country.
I don't know. I forgot what he races, but I think he races either late models or we'll have to talk to him and ask him.
Yeah, definitely like to know.
Yeah, but Jaden's usually a really good driver. He's running in the number 10. And like I said, I haven't really seen any of these guys on road. There's a couple of names that I know that I can definitely point out. But another person we have is Sean Leisure in the number 67. He was a new addition in season 9 coming into season 10. He's been pretty strong. He's someone you don't want to really count out, but he's had a rough run. He usually he gets doored or gets turned by someone that coming out of the corner gets caught up in an accident. But most of the time he's running up with the front pack, so he hasn't really had his heyday yet, but he's definitely up there with everyone else.
Well, it sounds like 9 seasons. He's got to have a little experience there.
Yeah. And then we have Andrew Combs, the owner of the series, running the number 32. He races for C4 Esports. And Andrew Combs is actually a Ohio local.
Oh,
this is his track. This is his home track. So this is why he wanted it on the schedule. He really likes this track, so this is the one he really gets to go see the most.
So he'd be a Buckeye. There you go, Ohio Buckeyes.
And looks like we have a very common occurrence for the Death by Moose Media broadcasting. We have Carl Handwork in the number 18 with No Shave November. It looks like he got
loving the mustache in the front of the car.
Yeah, he's got an old paint scheme. Carl Handwork actually is an experienced road, oval, dirt. He pretty much drives everything for iRacing. So if you've ever watched the Core Racing series, we have 2 drivers in here that are from there, Carl Handwork and Kevin Foster. They're all around general purpose drivers, so definitely don't count them out when it comes to any course. Kobe Wells running the number 4, even though he's got the Mobile 1 on the front of his hood. All black with, I believe, flames on the side for that Mobile 1. That is a sweet paint scheme.
I really like the way it looks there. That Mobile 1 synthetic running a lot of those there.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of cool. Is a lot of these paint schemes that come out, they're all hand done by other people. So these are some people are doing a really good job recreating them. Oh man, a nice side shot.
Yeah, he wanted to show us the side of the car.
Whoa.
Graphics look just as good on the side as they do from the front.
Exactly.
But let me just tell you, you want everybody to see the back of your graphics. That's the key. You don't want to look at their rears. You want them to look at your rear graphics.
And I think a couple of the guys in the next race coming up, we actually have some messages on the back of their graphics. But when we get to core, we'll talk about that.
That's always kind of, because sometimes there are some personal. If you're not fast enough, you could read this. I know.
Yeah.
See, I've seen a few of those in my past.
Yeah, there's we had last race for the core series. We had a guy, Jonathan Platt. There's a running joke where they're talking about Carl owns the core series, and they talk about turning him, and there's a pot out there for the winner that takes him out. And for the Daytona prototypes, he had on the front of his hood, Carl is here, or Carl, impact here, or something like that.
The impact zone.
Yeah. So we're on Austin Johnson right now in the number 21. Looks like he's racing with the Virtual Sim Racing Motorsports. If anyone out there is in iRacing and wants to learn about, learn a little bit more, VSM is a good place to go. They actually will run you through some of the tracks. They have lessons, they have pre-made setups, and a paint that you can run. So it's a subscription you have to pay for, but definitely worth it if you're looking at, possibly working your way up the ranks. And it looks like you just clipped out on me.
Well, that looks like it's pretty cool to have that, so you can actually get some pointers, get some tips, kind of like going to a professional driving school.
Exactly. And it looks like we're having some issues. Give me 1 second. I got to clear the... Sometimes what happens is when people leave, it causes a little havoc on the system. And we are back. So we are actually on Liam Sheen, the number 66, running in the Direct Innovations. And that is a really clean paint scheme. Look at that.
Yeah, there's always drifting around that corner.
Yeah, it looks like he likes to get a little loose around there.
Yeah, it's called hanging that rear end out.
Was that a professional term?
Yeah, it's hanging it out there. Or we like to say is in off-road, we call backing it in. But that's something you do on the asphalt.
I think he's going to learn that once we start getting into a pack race.
Especially if you got somebody next to you, that's not what you want to do. Just gives them a broader target to take you out and do a nice little pit maneuver on you.
Yeah, not too much effort behind getting you loose on that one. All right, we have the number 99, Kevin Foster, who is someone that I mentioned earlier with Carl Handwork. He's a general all-purpose driver. Keep an eye on him. He's one of those guys that likes to run the long run, or the long con. He will pace himself. He will set up when he needs to pit, when he needs to go, and really, he likes to run long runs. So he's actually going to stretch it out, maybe 3 or 4 laps longer than other people. That's where he's comfortable. So he's just one of those guys you want to keep an eye on when it comes to that.
So he may push that extra lap to get the stretch a little bit more fuel out of it.
Oh, yeah. And then as these guys are getting ready to grid up, we also have Trevor, I believe that's Earhart, or Earhart. Yeah, we'll go with Earhart. Trevor running the number 13. I haven't seen Trevor run with us before, so this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it looks like Earnhardt with an R.
Yeah.
That's right. Earhart.
We're with Earhart.
We're still waiting for, Matt Kemp to load?
Yeah, Matt Kemp hasn't loaded yet, so we'll see what happens with him.
All right, but 13 stand, 13 turns, 13 cars. I'm telling you.
It's the lucky number for this league.
Might be the magic number there, that's for sure.
I think so. Looks like we have about 55 seconds left on qualifying, so if anyone out there, wants to get up, go get some popcorn, get something to drink, get ready for the action, it's going to get starting real soon. All right, and we're back, getting ready for the grid with a couple seconds to go as the scenes transition. Just staying with us for a little bit.
Really great shot. You can see the different elevation changes here at Mid-Ohio. Not something you think out of a Midwest course, but there is some elevation changes, off-camber turns, and as you drop down in elevation, coming off the carousel, and it's pretty cool how it's set up.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, some of these corners are kind of like a blind corner. You can't really see exactly over it. It's a little wavy. That's the best way of putting it.
Nice little undulations in the track.
Yes.
It's my word of the day calendar. Paid off.
I need to get one of those.
So it looks like the gridding's set up here.
That is correct, and they are in a spot that I was not expecting to be. We're just going to have to wait for them to come around the corner.
As I say, according to the map, they should be just past turn 3 for the start.
Yeah, that is not what is happening for...
It's just a rolling start. There's a great overhead shot there.
Yeah, we'll stick with that for a little bit.
We got the blimp cam.
That is correct. The Goodyear blimp.
Goodyear blimp. Gotta love it.
They flew it all the way out there just for this race.
I don't think it was that far of a fly for him, was it?
Well, last time I saw it, it was flying over the Angel Stadium, so...
Well, they actually have a couple of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's one back there also. I think Canton, Ohio has one.
Yeah, so if they got their own, then there you go.
Yeah. The other one was based out here near Hawthorne, California.
Okay.
Torrance area, near the Torrance Airport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
All
a
right.
pleasure of calling races. The pass of the blimp, and what a great shot they provide there.
And we are with the green flag right now. Looks like Andrew Singleton, Rabiati taking it off into the keyhole right now. Probably the longest straightaway with a 180-degree turn, so it's going to be pretty tough.
180 coming back around here. Running too wide through there.
And
And
Andrew
you see
Singleton.
that did not work.
Yeah, no, he is off the track. Rabiati doing a good job holding up in front. Now,
He's got some hard chargers behind him. The number 11 looks like
Jack Bolche.
There you go. And handwork.
And then right behind Anwork, you have Andrew Combs.
Watching the setup of these lines, you can see that Audi has that preferred line going through. Bulch, though, is going to have to find a fast way around. But, with this only being the first lap right now, it's not something you're going to want to make any moves right now. You want to find out what the other drivers' lines are set up, see where you maybe leave a little daylight, and possibly we can get a run-up on them, do a little draft, and make the pass.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the passing lanes we're probably going to see is going to come up to that keyhole run. We're going to see these guys coming into the first turn of the day, which is the keyhole, which has 2 long straightaways. So you're probably going to see some deep braking, or at least attempts at deep braking, which I think is a little scary.
Deep or late is the other acronym for that, I'd say. And there's a good point. We talked about the elevation changes. They run up the hill here.
Jack with a deep break into that corner, trying to close that gap between him and Rabbiati. And it looks like we lost Andrew Combs, or he dropped a couple positions as we came into that backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like the TC back there still battling with Handwork.
That is correct. And Handwork setting up a pass. Can he complete it, though?
Hey, can't get that nose in there. The TC came down, slammed the door in his face.
Ah.
And here we go. You had to get on the binders just a little bit, and it's allowing the 10 of Curtisi again to get a little run. The 18 falling off the pace just a little bit. Looks like Johnson back there trying to catch him up now. Johnson in the 21 car.
And it's going to get hairy as it comes into Thunder Valley right now.
Not sure what happened on that shot there. We lost him as they came out of Thunder Valley now to the carousel.
That is correct.
That's where they split off.
Looks like one of my cameras is down, so I'm going to have to work around that when we get to a caution.
Possibly one of the drivers getting a little squirrely taking that camera location out.
Yeah, just had to hit the guy holding the pole. All right, looks like Kurtasi able to pretty much get away from Carl Handwork a little bit. Well, we'll see if he can catch him up as they enter into China Beach. But let's go ahead and check the field a little bit better.
Yeah, it looks like you got to go a little bit deeper. You got Austin Johnson, Liam Sheen, Colby Wells in the 4, followed by the 22 of Andrew Singleton. Kevin Foster in the double 9s.
And we have Trevor bringing up the rear right now. And it looks like we already have one drop from the race. Sean Leisure, he might have came into one of those corners just a little too hot and took himself out.
Well, we did see one of the cars came off track there earlier. We're not sure of the result, but that could have been the vehicle.
It looks like that camera guy just does not want to use his camera. And it's still...
Well, I have a feeling he's on a union break.
Yeah.
And those union cameramen.
I'll have to work that out with him. All right, so following the front pack right now, we have Rabbiati coming into the keyhole.
Once again, the keyhole is one of the big 180s with 2 long stretches.
Andrew Ruiz coming in a little too hot, having to hit up on those brakes late into that turn, and looks like he cannot close that door in on
here
Andrew
comes
Combs.
Combs. Look at this. Combs with a big run up the inside. Cannot make it stick, though.
No, he had it, and I think he just maybe got a little too heavy on the pedal and had to lift off.
It looked like he a little bobbed and weaved just a little bit. You're right. Ruiz, though, beautiful line there. Combs came a little hot, had to get on the binders. Definitely lost some of that momentum.
And I believe Andrew Combs, we are probably going to see a caution. He is out into the wall.
Oh, no.
So
Combs dropping down all the way to the last place now. Yeah, it looks like we might have lost another car there, Trevor Earhart.
Oh, you're right. He's out of the race, too. You know, a lot of these guys do run oval, so running a road course is not in their wheelhouse, and it's a little tougher. Oh, the camera still does not want to grab. All right, well, we'll just stick with this.
I was watching the iRacing on Fox the other day, and I see they kept on hitting the reset button. Kurt Busch every time he wrecked his car. So I'm sure we're going to see these guys hitting the reset and get back out there again. Of course, though, you are going to lose some laps.
Yeah, and that's actually one thing with this race for iRacing. These guys only have one spare car. They only get one fast repair. So either they make it into the pit and use their fast repair, or they get towed, and when they tow, it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to get their car back into the run.
Yeah, you're definitely going to lose laps at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Especially you said they're running about 1:30.
Yeah, definitely going to lose 2-3 laps.
4 or 5 laps.
Yeah.
Five laps in of 51 make up the distance here.
And it looks like we have a good battle coming between Andrew Singleton and Kobe Wells. And Andrew
Singleton with
getting
the
around him.
move.
Looks like Colby did not want anything of that.
Yeah, Wells just left that door wide open for him. Wanted to avoid the contact.
All right, as we look at the pack, looks like Andrew Ruiz and both Rabiotti pulling away from the group. Jaden with Carl Handberg hot on his tail.
And a beautiful shot there as they go through the Estes, and that puts them into Thunder Valley. The split off there. Haven't seen anybody really going for the pit for any necessary maintenance right now.
You know, they are only 6 laps in. I wasn't able to talk to them and find out exactly, you know, oh, Jaden Kurtasa getting loose around the corner.
Oh, no. 4th place goes around. It's definitely going to put him a lot deeper in the field there for sure. So Hardwick able to move up to 3rd now. Sheen, Johnson, Singleton also gaining a position.
Yeah, Connor, Dave's at the house.
Hey, Connor. Guys, over here at Randall's now. We're sitting 4 feet apart. I don't know. Maybe I should get a little farther, 6 feet here.
I have a 6-foot pole we can put in between us.
Get the 6-foot push pole.
Exactly. All right, looks like Handwork taking advantage of that gap, but right behind him, lo and behold, Liam Sheen.
I was going to say, Sheen really on the move right now, the 66 car.
Yeah, and looking right behind those guys, we have Johnson and Singleton. Singleton making as much, you know, headway as possible. He's got a lot in front of him, but he's been closing that gap.
And really got a good view right now for the Goodyear blimp up there. You can see the gap. Audi out front, Robbie Audi in the number 12. He is totally out of the shot, but what we're watching now is Ruiz, Handwick, Sheen, and Johnson as they battle.
And I think I just saw Andrew Combs get loose on a corner again coming out of that down that straight.
Horrible luck for Combs. That's the 2nd time that's happened to him.
Yeah, that... Oh, no, that's the Mobile 1. That's Kobe Wells.
Oh, it was Wells. Okay. Is Wells now slipping down through the ticker?
I believe so. But we definitely have a 4-car pileup where these guys are going to... You know, Singleton's got a lot of headway to make, and he's got 3 drivers to get around. He's got Sheen, who's a good driver, and Handwork, so...
And we're watching right now 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th all battling. Ruiz and Audi out of the picture right now.
Oh, and it looks like Johnson getting a little close to Sheen.
This could get interesting here.
Yeah, he had to lock up those brakes just to watch not send him out of the turn.
Nice setup through the turn as he comes out and accelerates the 66 of Sheen.
Let's go ahead and check in on the front pack real fast as they go into Thunder Valley.
And we can see our leader now really out front there. Audi. And then a little gap back, you got Ruiz there. And then there is the Hunters right behind him. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Again, that's going to be Hardwick, Sheen, Johnson, Singleton.
And they are whipping through that corner.
These guys are very equal on talent, I'm going to say right now.
Yeah, and I think Kobe Wells is still having some issues. You can see him in the back getting a little loose coming out of those corners. He's just probably a little too heavy on the pedal.
You know, Wells was running up in the front of the pack there early on. We saw him get loose, go out, get out of position. And you can see now the 21 trying to come up on Sheen. Johnson throwing a little heat to him. Looking to get on his back porch, do a little trespassing.
And looks like he's closing that door.
We'll see some of these guys try to kick that door open, throw that nose in there, give him a little bump and run.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, taking a bump in one of these cars, it's going to end your race.
It's not going to work out well.
No, and I don't think it's going to end well for both parties. I think even the person pushing a little bit might actually throw himself off. These things have been pretty testy.
Things too. You know, you have to be able to trust that other driver that's in front of you. You know, if he gets on the binders a little hard, give you a tap, to you, you're going to go out of the race.
Yeah. We can see already how loose some people are getting by themselves. Yep. Definitely 2 people are going to go if something like that goes down. All right, back into Thunder Valley. Still a good battle between these. I'd say third down to 6th place. Andrew Combs looking to get around Johnson.
Yeah, Ruiz and Audi have basically checked out. Of course, Robbie Audi out front and the number 12 car. The 09 of Andres Rios out in that second position. And then we got that gap back to hard handwork in the 18, Sheed in the 66, Johnson in the 21, and Singleton in the 22 as we watch them gaggle up together.
And Singleton getting a little loose. I think these tires are starting to fall off for these guys. You know, they are roughly about, more than 10 minutes in, and they're down 10 laps. That's quite a lot of time on these tires, especially for all these corners. So we're probably going to see some pits, I would say lap 15.
Now, this is something a lot different than an oval course. You're going to get a lot more wear on these tires turning left and right. You know, you're scrubbing more of that good rubber off.
And honestly, you're probably going to see these guys taking full force and not being able to, like an oval where you can take, one side and kind of gamble a little bit. You're definitely going to need to take all sets.
You don't want uneven wear on these tires. You know, you get a fresh set on one side, it's definitely going to throw the balance of the car off. Good shot of the 18 of Carl Handwork, sorry. I'll get some of these names down here.
Hey man,
Adi Ruiz, Handwork.
I have a tough time with names, so don't mind me. You're doing better than me.
Back in December, I was in Thailand announcing, and you want to talk about a challenging experience. I've never heard names with 16 consonants in them.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare for me. And it looks like Andrew Combs trying to go for another pass. Andrew Singleton going for another pass, but 21 closing his door, swinging out a little bit, and not letting him get past. Johnson doing a good job playing defense on that keyhole.
And that's making that car a little bit wide. It's like throwing your elbows out.
Yeah, probably not on purpose getting a little loose, but it definitely did what it needed to do. Close the door. Just get in the way.
Definitely make that car wider so he couldn't find a faster way around. Good shot of Singleton in the 22, the all-black car. Now, looking at the times here, first place, Robbie Audi running about 125 his last lap around. Ruiz, about 0.3 of a second off there. But now we're going to go back. Again, though, Handwork had a great time by 125.814.
Oh, and we have contact. Looks like Kobe Wells and I believe that was not Jack, Austin Johnson getting into it.
21. Johnson looks like he's getting back up to pace again, but definitely hampered his forward momentum.
Yeah, and it looks like that opened the door for Singleton and Kobe Wells to get through.
Just like that, another position down.
All right, let's go ahead and we've been with these guys for a while. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit, see what we can see out on the track, see if there's any other battles going on with some of the drivers as we make our way down through the track.
Got a wide perspective now here. And definitely positions spread out around the track.
Yeah, it looks like I would say your mid pack is where the heat is.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, the mid pack right now is where the race is. Actually, you're right. Top two have run away with this. Everybody else kind of spaced out. You know, they're all probably the guys in the back. Always pray for those cautions.
Yeah.
You know, so they can regroup the field. But like you said, you know, we're now 11 laps in. When is the pit stop? When are they going to start noticing the tires are going away? Are we going to be seeing a little bit of balled up rubber, the marbles out there?
Yeah, honestly, we from that overhead view, it looks like the course is rubbering in pretty well.
And that's referring to the blue groove being laid down. But what happens is you get on the outside of the blue groove, you get these little roller balls. And I'm wondering if these guys get outside of the preferred line, or they get a little loose usually. It's like in real life.
You know what? I'm not as experienced with that. We could definitely probably pull one of those guys in and talk to him about it. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can get a little loose outside of those areas. I know at least for dirt courses, it definitely happens. With
well,
road,
it happens on asphalt for real too. That's why I'm wondering if it happened here.
yeah, I'm not.
On every outside of the turn when they go, the centrifugal force of the rubber is going to be thrown out. So if you get a little on the outside, it can get like getting on ice.
Yeah, so we'll have to talk to maybe some of the more experienced guys and see what they have to say about that. But I'm pretty sure that does happen with some of the corners.
Well, I'm seeing everything else is so realistic in this racing.
I'm pretty sure it does exist then. Oh, look, we even got geese.
I was just going to say that.
Well, if you guys follow the migratory patterns of the Canadian geese, they are actually passing over Ohio right now. So go ahead and walk out with your glasses or with your binoculars and go glassing.
So they're flying north for the summer?
I believe so.
The winter's over. They fly south for the winter. They're just coming back from Florida. They're giving an update on what Daytona is going to be like.
Yeah, they like the cold, so I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh!
13 laps here once again. And look at this. We got a run up the inside here. Not going to happen, though. The 66 able to hold on to Sheen. And Singleton really starting to push it, the 22 car. I want to keep an eye on this battle for a while because I believe something's going to happen soon.
Yeah, no, I agree with you with that. And it looks like Liam Sheen feeling the pressure behind Singleton, feeling the pressure with Singleton behind him. He got a little loose, and this is probably, tires are dropping off. They're trying to stay pace and keep these guys off their tail. But when you're trying to be that aggressive, you're going to, cause problems for yourself. And they don't have to do anything. They just have to stay right behind you. And
there's always a little bit of that psychological warfare that goes in there. You go up there, show them a nose. Go up, show them a nose.
Yep.
They expect you to go to the inside. You take the outside. But with the tires worn down right now, that's not when you want to take a chance. He could be filling them out for later on if there is a tire change to come up.
Yeah, and honestly, like right now in the race, if these guys don't have too much time racing or racing against each other on a road course, now's the time to feel out a lot of the drivers. Yep. Drive the pack, see what you can do with some people, set up some passes, see if those passes work out for you. If they don't, then when you get up to the front line that you can't use those and you got to use different tools in your box.
From my experience, I've always found out is finding out where a driver is going to make his mistakes, where he's quickest, where he's slowest, and you're going to make mental notes there. Okay, he's braking at this point. If I brake a little later or deeper into the turn, I could set up to the inside. There's a lot of thoughts that go through a race driver's head.
Oh, yeah.
And every one of these drivers is picking a mark where they're hitting their brakes. Through their windows, it's a different view than we're seeing. I don't know if you have any onboard shots there, but they'll pick a point. And that point's where they're going to either, get off the accelerator, get on the binders, slow it down there. Like you hit that corner there, you saw the third corner, the cone. You would make a mark there, make a mental note. That's where you get off on it. You can see he's picked a point. Yeah,
and he's already setting himself up, to cross through with these. I believe they're going through China Beach right now. When you're doing multiple turn sections, you actually, you're setting yourself up for the next turn. Yep. So you can see how Sheen is coming out a little bit wider and then has a harder time to cut in and shaving off time, where Singleton is actually cutting down the center of those corners, allowing him to shave off, a couple seconds and reel Sheen back in, as we just saw.
Well, there's the old adage, the fastest point in A and B is a straight line, and that's what you want to hit. You don't want to make too many corrections along that straight line. You hit your apex, you come out of the turn, and you want to be set up going right to that next apex.
Oh, yeah. And that's looks like we have a pit coming up.
There it is. I knew the pit's coming in. Now, this could be a point. Now, Singleton, who is working on Sheen for so long now, he's going to have fresh tires coming out. So next time, if they get back in and start racing after Sheen comes in, you could see a battle.
Yeah, and Singleton's going to be the first one to pit. And looks like he's followed up by Jaden Kratasi, and looks like the field is already stopping to pit. So our front runners have not decided to do that.
That's the point. When are the front runners going in, Randall?
I have no clue. So we'll have to see what happens, because that's going to change the field. Because if the front runners don't pit for another 2 laps, they might lose the lead.
In this type of racing, pit strategies win or lose races.
Oh, yeah.
Great shot of handwork. Once again, the 18. He's got the Movember mustache on there. Loving that. Great shot there. The Goodyear tires. You You can really see the lot of squeal marks there, little rubber laid down.
Open it up so you can see a little bit of the track coming up ahead.
Great shot over to the driver from the right side of the car, the inside. You can see he's making little corrections with the wheel. He's not making huge over corrections. Very slow. That's what you want to do. A lot of guys tend to fight the wheel. You got to kind of go with the flow, make small corrections here and there.
Sorry, we're laughing about my dog. He's passed out and farting in the room with us. It's getting pretty bad. I'm so sorry about that, Dave.
We got some of our own carbon monoxide going on here.
I swear I
fuel.
have all the windows open. My girlfriend said he did have an upset stomach, but I wasn't expecting it to be that bad.
I must say that's the first of the booth for me,
Oh,
other than
man.
my partner.
Yeah. All right, looks like Singleton, Liam Sheehan, they're all out of the pits.
All right, with Audi and Ruiz to come around again, are they going to be seeing the pits is the question.
Let's stay with them for a little bit and see if they decide to pit. We are on lap 16. I did say, lap 15 is roughly when these guys are probably going to be pitting. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the front pack decides to do. Oh, and no pitting from Ruiz.
Ruiz goes in, and also the 18 of handwork.
Yeah.
Mustache getting to go in to get a trim.
Yeah, definitely. He was feeling a little wide. Couldn't get his nose around the area. Too much hair there, so he's definitely got to shave that off.
Yeah, you got to wonder with all the hair salons shut down, where is he going to get that mustache shaved at? Is the question.
It's going to have to be a home job.
Yeah.
And it looks like Robbiati's staying out and going for the gold.
Well, Johnson's now moved up to that second spot there. Ruiz, we saw him go to the pits, so we'll see the leaderboard change around. We should see Coombs and Handwork. We saw Handwork go in there also.
Yeah, so this is really gonna change up the dynamic of the field. Another person that's still on the track. Oh nope, never mind. I take that back.
Well, Coombs and Johnson have not pitted yet. And
Nope.
Kevin Foster.
Kevin Foster just hit the pits.
Okay. Still waiting for Coombs and so we're looking here that Johnson, Audi, and it looks like Coombs, the only ones that have not done a pit stop. So we'll see this leaderboard change up just a little bit. I wonder if Audi's mindset saying, I'm going to get the biggest lead I can before I have to pit. I want this car to feel totally loose before I know I cannot drive it anymore. I need new tires.
I have seen Audi drive in some of the short tracks, or at least the short ovals, and he actually likes the car to be a little loose. So this might be where he feels comfortable and just compensating just a tad bit just to keep the car straight and doesn't really worry about it too much.
There's Ruiz now.
Taking the lead.
Taking the lead. It showed Ruiz pitted, so he's out front. Audi now into the pits. And as well as Coombs. Coombs dropping through the ranks now.
And it looks like Robbiati able to get ahead of him. He did a quick pit.
Wow, did he take 4 tires?
Looks like he had a 14.8 second pit. So yeah everyone
did.
else.
Everybody there. Looked like Cortesi had the slowest pit there.
Yeah, 15.1.
Along with Coombs. Another 15.1. There it is. Kevin Foster's in. Yeah, it looks like Foster's out.
Yeah, I don't think he's having a good time on the track. Looks like he was having a rough time and riding in the back of the pack. I wonder what was going on for him.
Some days you just have days like that.
I hope not for him because he's got a doubleheader today. He's got the ISRC, and then he's going to be racing with Core at Myrtle Beach tonight. So
Yeah, he might be saving himself.
possibly. All right, so I think we're going to see a really good battle come up right now, and it's going to be between Andrew Ruiz and Robbie. And I think Robbie just got loose around the corner.
Oh, look at this. Audi in the 12 there. And that's going to go Singleton as a second. Ruiz still out front.
And, that's something, too, to kind of point out is driving by yourself in the front is a completely different ballgame than when riding with a couple other people. The pressure of people in front of you and behind you, and also your lines not being able to be exactly what you want.
Well, I always say there's 3 stages of a driver. It goes when you get out front, the pressure's on for you to stay smooth. Mm-hmm. Then you got a point when you're racing with somebody, will sometimes slow you down. And then you got the point where you're following somebody, you get to learn the lines, and you can actually learn to go a little faster that way. We call it the 3 mindsets.
Yeah, and honestly, those mindsets are super important, especially the last one where you're following someone and learning their lines. For any driver out there that is worth their salt in driving, is willing to back off a little bit, get behind someone that's faster, and try and follow them. Learn their lines because it's going to help you improve down the road.
Sometimes you slow down, you smooth yourself out a little bit, and you get a little faster. I know it's the oxymoron, and I know announcers, drivers have said it through the ages, but slower is faster sometimes.
Definitely.
So if you see a guy who's, getting on the throttle, getting a little loose, you back off, be a little smoother. You might make that pass by learning where he's just not settled down.
Definitely.
All right. Looks like they came out of Thunder Valley through the carousel again.
Yep, going into the keyhole.
The big 2 straights with a 180.
Still haven't seen too many passes through that section, which I'm surprised. Honestly, I think that would be a pretty common passing point. But we've mainly been seeing passes on China Beach, which is.
I would actually expect to see more in the actual turn of the keyhole itself than on the straightaways because the cars are so equally passed. One guy's going to carry too much speed and or scrub off too much speed exiting the turn, and that's where somebody could duck, into the inside and make a pass.
Yeah, and I think right now everyone's got the same braking points, and I think this has to this is accounting for the fact that the car's feeling a little tight going into the brake, like I was talking about earlier with the setup that they're running. The brakes aren't locking up fast. There's a lot of give to them, so you step on them.
Bushy?
I would say it's like driving an old muscle car. You step on the brake and it just
takes a city block to stop.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. you have to time it, and I think that's
all right,
what's
3 blocks before to get to my house is when I'm going to step on the brakes.
Exactly, and I think that's what's really going into play right now with some of the drivers.
What I think a lot of it has to do with these style of cars. When you're running an oval, you're not on the brakes as much. When you're running a road course, you're going to get on the brakes. The brakes are going to get hot. Mm-hmm. When brakes get hot, they fade. They get mushy. They get a little hard. I know it's kind of mushy and hard, but it's hard to the fact where it's not going to stop and give the full grip. And you can just feel that brake fade start to happen.
Yeah, so I really wish we'd have either a caution or something come up so I can talk to some of the drivers and get some information. But
I'd love to know some feedback on it.
Yeah. I don't want to interrupt this driving just because road courses require a lot of concentration and pulling someone, mid.
Well, don't we have any multitaskers out there?
I'd like to say yes, but I want to say no. I want to see how well they do and how long they can keep a green flag run.
Many, many years ago with Lucas Oil, when I was doing some of the racing, commentating for him, I went out and we would do a track drive. Mm-hmm. And I'd wear the microphone and go out, and you'll have somebody talking to you. Yeah. It is so hard. When you're used to somebody like a spotter in your ear, that's one thing because they're telling you where somebody is.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to answer a question back, your concentration, it's really hard to focus.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's amazing, the connection between your hands, your feet, and your mouth. They don't all sync up.
No, not at all.
A few F-bombs may have been dropped in my head, didn't come out of my mouth.
At a young age, I realized I couldn't play the drums, and that's when I realized sometimes just multitasking just isn't my thing.
Can you pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time is the question.
It took about 4 years of practice.
Well, a great shot there, the 18 there. Carl had work. all by his lonesome there in third. And then we're going to go back to Audi, who was our leader early on. And oh no, the 66 is Sheen. Spins out into the infield, stays out of the sand pit.
Yeah, he just couldn't keep it out of that corner. He just kept going. Overcorrected. And you can see him right there getting back in first gear, overcorrecting a little bit. And it looks like Kobe Wells coming in for that pass. So he's definitely going to lose some speed.
Well, that was a tough one to recover by.
You want any water? Are you good? Okay.
Forgot about my drink here.
Yeah, this, for us in the booth, 51 laps, a minute each. That's a long time to be going back and forth.
That's all right. I'm loving this. I am just blown away at how the realism of iRacing has come. This is incredible. Like that shot there. Oh, Ted getting a little off course there.
Ooh.
Little GPS malfunction.
Yeah.
Is it Kratasi?
No, that was Kratasi right behind him, but that was Liam Sheen.
Sheen that gave us the beautiful shot.
Yes.
And back on board with the 66 is Sheen there.
As they come through Thunder Valley into the finishing straight. Looks like we've had a couple other drivers drop out, and I think they're just having a hard time on the track. So we're left with 9 drivers out in the field right now. Andrew Ruiz, Andrew Singleton, Andreas Ruiz, Andrew Singleton, Carl Handwerk, Robbie Audi, Jack Bolche, sorry, Jack, Kobe Wells, Jaden Kratasi, Liam Sheen, and Andrew Combs. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit of a battle from Jack and Robbie.
Great overshot again by that Goodyear blimp.
We're actually going to be going out to the high blimp as it zooms out a little bit.
Wow, that is a nice shot there. And it really gives us a good perspective there of the gap now.
Yeah.
Andreas just loving this now. All by his lonesome, but Singleton and Handwerk look like they're battling there again for second place.
Oh, no, that's actually Andreas and Singleton.
Singleton, I'm sorry.
Handwerk's in the middle, and he's all alone.
Handwerk's by his lonesome there.
That is
there
correct.
We go. Handwerk in the all-white car. That's
It's-
right, Singleton in the black car, and then the teal and black of Ruiz.
That's correct. And that's, something to point out with the way the track's going. A lot of these guys have very similar lap times. So where Robbie Audi had a good lead, he just can't maintain it anymore.
Well, I'm looking at the times from early on. Even with the tires starting to fade before his pit stop, his lap times are right on where they were at, 125 to 126 in that range.
Yeah, and
Actually, Audi, that was his slowest lap time. He had fresh tires, 127.
Yeah, and he's really feeling the heat of having to drive through the pack. It's just really tough on this course.
And that's another frustration factor there for drivers. When you're running out front, you can run your pace, but you get out there and it's like it feels like you kind of lose your pace when you got other cars you're trying to chase down, because then you tend to overdrive the car and then you go a little bit slower.
And that's what we're going to see with Carl Handwerk right now. Can he keep pace? Can he speed up just a half a second or a little bit more just to gain that distance he needs to close up to that front pack of first and second place?
Really watching the wheel there, very smooth, holds on to it. The car looks like it's handling beautiful there. Oh, it looks like he got a little loose there.
Oh, Kenny Doe! And into the wall.
Yeah, I saw him trying to overcorrect there, and I knew that car was just going to lose its rear end. A little too much throttle coming out of that turn.
Yeah, and that's a danger for everyone out there right now. Is like I said before, these cars are really touchy. Just a lot of torque.
Have you had a chance to drive a real one?
I wish.
They have the Rusty Wallace experience they do at some of the races. When everything opens back up, I really highly suggest you do that, because they are that touchy in real life.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's something I've always wanted to experience is some of the the actual cars. Like I've been looking at possibly picking up or saving some money for one of the Mazda 2000 Formula Series, the little short kind of go-karts. They're called Skip Barbers on iRacing, and I actually really enjoy driving those cars on iRacing. They're a lot of fun. They push through the corners, and you can kind of drive them a little bit like a go-kart. They unhook a little bit, and they whip around the corners. It's a lot of fun.
Miatas.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys that race those. And good friend of mine who raced the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, who won last year's UTV championship. Robert Stout was second in the Mazda Series. I'd love to see Robert Stout get on the iRacing here. That is a driver that has done a multitude of racing in different, disciplines. Also professional instructor out at Thermal in the BMW school.
Wow.
And I think he'd do really well in this one. But
Yeah.
that Mazda series is really cool.
Yeah, I'd love to get my hands on one. Just try it out. But that's one thing about iRacing. Comparing it to real life racing. I've sat down and talked with some pro drivers from the iRacing experience that also drive either sprint cars or dirt off road or even oval. They tell you that yes, it doesn't feel exactly like the real car. That it's going to be really hard to simulate. Yeah. What you get out of iRacing, which you're not able to reproduce, is the ability to run and learn how to race next to someone. You get to learn how to run lap after lap.
Damage to a vehicle and actually putting real money out.
Oh yeah. So you get that experience of lap after lap after lap of running door to door with someone, and that's where it's really important.
Yeah, that's what it's really nice about it, because you're right. The real factor is the G forces that you're not feeling. The bumps. There's an old adage: it's driving by the seat of your pants. Where in your butt, you can actually feel if a car's not running right. If it's running smooth, you'll feel in your rear end. It's like it's getting a little loose, or it's a little bumpy. Car feels stiff.
Yeah, the human body acting like a gyroscope out there.
You're a human computer.
Oh yeah.
Well, here we are past the halfway mark here. 27 laps in the book. Andreas Ruiz still out front. Andrew Singleton in second. Carl Handwerk running third, followed by Jack Bolgi. And it looks like Rabbiati rounding out the top five.
Yeah, and he's definitely dropped off a little bit. I wonder.
He's been consistency 127s, where I saw him earlier in the 125s.
Yeah, I really wonder what's going on. Maybe he's just not feeling it right now, or as the track is worn in, he's just definitely not showing up the way he wanted it to.
Now, here's the other thing, too. Right before his pit stops were some of his faster runs. So you got to wonder, when they go in for the next pit stops,
is he going to stay out?
Will he get those positions back?
Yeah.
They're kind of flip-flops on the pit stops.
He might want to pit early so he can set himself up for a longer run for the next section. We're looking at, 16 laps for these guys?
Yep. That was 15 to 16 when they were ducking in there.
Yeah. So that might be what he wants to do, is maybe just go for an early pit.
We've lost another one there. We're down to 8 cars.
Liam Sheen out of the race. I wonder what happened.
Lost him 3 laps ago, it looks like.
Liam Sheen did get loose in he didn't collide with the wall, but he did get loose a couple times.
Yeah, he did get a little loose going around the outside and lost that position. And shortly after, that's when I saw him drop off there.
Yeah, he might have actually probably hit the wall in one of the corners and just taken himself out of the race.
And we're watching Singleton and Ruiz once again up front. The top two, the battle for first. Singleton in second in the all-black car, the teal and black machine of Andre Ruiz, and the 09.
Yeah, Ruiz really shining up here.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, this is honestly my first time seeing him with this series, and he's been putting on a good show. Last race he really wasn't up there too much, but coming up.
What other disciplines?
And I think
he
just went sideways.
Singleton was looking to the inside, and now Ruiz having an issue.
Yep. Oh no, he's still able to fend him off.
He's looking for that position, looking for a little draft run. Starting to push him. Trying to force him into a mistake.
Yeah.
Here they come off the carousel. Cross the stripe again.
And you can see Andrew Ruiz kind of doing a good job not riding completely on the rumble strip, but just staying about 2-3 feet off, just enough to to prevent an outside and inside pass where he can't stuff his nose.
Using the rumble strip.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So Singleton definitely looking to put his nose in there, but he's got nowhere to go because Andrew Ruiz is kind of hogging both lanes.
So great shot there, 22. Andrew Singleton trying to chase down Ruiz. Ruiz able to gap him just a little bit. Singleton, I guess, got a little too close, got the binder, shaved that speed off.
Yeah, and he's sticking with it.
Now, I'm really watching the times of these. As Singleton and Ruiz have actually slowed down a little bit. That, I can tell you right now, the tires are starting to go. They're up in the 127 range right now. And again, we're reaching that 15, 16 laps. Time for a tire change. Should be seeing a pit stop very soon.
Yeah, that's definitely what the doctor calls for, but I think they're probably going to try and stay out.
You got to push it.
Yeah, they need to keep that gap because definitely...
That's a tough decision when you're running that close right there for a position. I think Ruiz is going to want Singleton to pull in before he does. And I think Singleton's hoping the race pulls in.
Yeah, they're probably both playing chicken with each other right now, which
Yep.
Maybe it would be best just to go over comms and be like, hey, man, you want to pit together?
Let's keep this race going is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Ruiz with a good run off onto that through the keyhole.
And you can just hear them as they come into those corners. They are really cooking those engines. You know, you're able to get up to about fourth gear, and then you really have to downshift and get back down into second and third.
Through the carousel there, a little chicane action.
Yep.
My favorite word in racing. Chicane.
You know, for the longest time, I didn't know what the chicane was, and I just kind of winged it. And eventually I figured out, oh, that's just the section in the course.
Yes. I think it's a fun one. It's the left, right, or right, left.
Yeah, and it's definitely it's, you know, when executed properly, it's a really fast
Oh yeah,
corner.
definitely. If you set it, hit that line, hit your apex coming out, you can straight line right through the exit on it. There it is, the 22 of Singleton goes in for the pit. Ruiz is going to stretch it out for one more lap. He's going to go for 17 laps there as he now hits 31. 20 still to go here.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a bluff from Singleton because he went into those pits real fast.
Yeah, he gave that little fake little stay out there in last minute, you're right. Gave a quick little left jerk to the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Reese was like, there's nobody in my rearview mirror. What happened?
Yeah, he disappeared in under a half second. And it looks like Robbie Audi and Jack are going to be getting at it pretty soon.
So Audi, though, has been pretty much consistently in the 26s, so he's back up. Like I said, he was running faster with loose tires than he was early on, and he slowed down, actually, when he got the fresh tires. Now, Handwork and Audi still have to go in for the pits also, but Ruiz, our leader, he's really stretching this one out, and they're staying right with him.
Yeah, that's... I wonder how it's going to play out for Robbie Audi, to be honest, because he does drive better on looser tires, but those tires, you know, you're talking about maybe 10 laps of viability before it probably gets too loose to really stay on. So he's got a small window that he can play with, but I don't know if that's enough to get him back up into the top of the field.
Will these tires pop on you?
They won't show it at the moment, but they actually can pop on you
Okay.
in the sense of like designed into the game mechanics themselves.
Too many laps on those tires. And
Yeah, they'll completely
fail.
Yeah, they'll act like they've bursted and they'll
That's good to
completely
know.
go loose on you. And it looks like Jack going in for a pit.
Bulgy, the 11. Ducks in there. Now Ruiz is in. Also, Andreas. So Hardwick, or Handwork, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, it's okay.
God, I got all these Hardwicks and Kevin Hardwick.
No, we like to make the joke. You know, Carl Handwork is making his hands work out there, you know, with that wheel.
Or we just call him the mustache.
Yeah,
Call him the stash.
the stash.
Carl the Stash Handwork. Well, with a name like Handwork, you should have a handlebar mustache.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
saying.
Yeah, I don't think he has one right now. He should definitely get one. And right now, he is pretty much driving all alone up in the front. He
Well,
is
without
not.
barbers around, it's a good time to grow one.
Yeah, you can work on it. But you know, as I've noticed growing out facial hair, it gets a little bit tough to manage. There's a lot of effort that goes into it. I really have a lot of respect for people that have big beards.
Well, I did have the goatee and the beard a few times, but when the gray started coming out, it definitely got shaved off.
Yeah, I can see that happening for me too.
Once the gray made an appearance, it was all over.
You're done. All right, handwork's still staying out. Let's hop over to Robbie Audi. Let's see a little bit of his driving.
So handwork on 17 laps. Audi looking very smooth. Then second, he's still has to do a pit stop though. Singleton's already done a pit stop. He's sitting there in second place or third place still.
Yeah.
And look at Andreas Ruiz. He's had the pit stop. He's sitting back there in fourth. So Audi and handwork now trying to put a little distance out there before they get that pit stop in.
And I think maybe out of this run, we're probably going to see Robbie Audi get ahead of Carl when it comes to the pitting. I think Robbie's probably going to stay out there like we saw before and just try and drive it as long as possible.
Well, he's at 17 now, where he went in at 16 last time.
Yeah.
Got the little stat computer running in my head.
Yeah, I need to learn how to do that. And it looks like the field behind him is definitely spaced out, but not out of the run.
Well, I mean, somebody makes a mistake, you change everything. That's what racing is.
Yeah, consistency.
Sometimes you just don't throw the towel in early. You think you're running back there too deep in the field, and then a pileup happens, and you're running in third place all of a sudden.
Yeah, I've seen that happen so many times. Yeah, yeah, sometimes it's you see the third and fourth place guy back off the gas just a little bit before the finish line, just in case the first two just take each other out. And Singleton, it looks like Singleton's trying to reel him back in. He's driving hard.
You're right.
Which, honestly, I don't know if it's the best bet, just because Robbie
Wow,
Audi is driving
look
loose.
at Singleton's last lap, 124.380.
Oh, wow.
And he had a best was 123. Audi's best was 124, but the last one was 127.
Yeah.
So I think Singleton's just clipping away, clipping a second, a half a second, a quarter second.
You can see him right now. He's just closing in on him. And he's going to go for that probably a pass on the carousel.
Well, let me tell you, Singleton's got the fresh tires, Audi's tires, and that's showing it right now. A little bit of a wiggle, getting the rear end just a little loose.
And Singleton giving Robbie Audi a push.
I told you that there's going to be some bumping going on. It's going to let you know you're not fast enough anymore, buddy.
Yeah, you know, honestly, Robbie Audi's one of those guys that drives a little bit with his heart on his shoulders, and giving him a push on the track is not the best thing to do. You want to keep clean with him because he's definitely, if you start driving rough with him, he'll come back and be rough with you. So you need to be a little careful.
We call that tit for tat.
Yeah, he's definitely going tit for tat for you, and he's going to stay out.
All right, that's how it's going to be. All right, let me show you.
Yeah, he's going to slow him down. Watch. We're going to see a very interesting race unfold between these two.
Is Audi just going to try and run it all with these tires? Because it's not going to happen.
No.
There it is. Look at this. A big run on Singleton. The outside. Audi will have the inside line, though.
I don't think he's going to give it to him. No. Like I said, he's going to go tit for tat. He's going to try and close it.
There it is. We're on the rumble strip. And Singleton goes in the lead. Audi bounced back to second.
That was an intense run by both those guys.
That's a good example of really showing the tires are starting to go.
Yeah.
This simulator really takes that into account. But Audi knows now if he goes into the pits and does a quick change, it's really going to drop him. Everybody else except for Coombs and Audi have pitted.
Yeah, so I
and
really...
now Coombs is in the pits and out.
I really wonder what's going through these guys' head.
Audis want to know if he can stretch 16 more laps out of his tires. I doubt that's going to happen.
I hope he doesn't go that far with them. And he's still staying out there. Wow.
Shocking.
Persistence, but sometimes persistence is not key.
That's just being a little stubborn right now.
Possibly.
Because this is definitely taking you from hero to zero in one lap.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the field that's pitted. You're talking about easily catching up to him now. He's running, what? He was running a 27. I think he dropped down to a 28 on one lap.
Yep.
So he's definitely feeling
Singleton was a 124. Look at that. Ruiz is in the 125s.
Yeah.
Here comes Ruiz up on Adi now.
Yeah, and you can hear Ruiz really dropping those gears trying to come into those corners. And he's going to set up a pass right about now through the carousel. Or, sorry, through the China Beach.
China Beach, and there it is to the inside. Oh, no, Adi. It's like Ruiz just kind of backed off there. I think if he would have kept it down, he would have had a clean pass.
Yeah.
Adi moved way out the outside.
Yeah.
You put half your nose in the inside, that's your line.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely lifted. He felt a little. I don't know why he probably just backed off a
There
little
he
bit.
goes to the inside again. And
Oh, Robbie losing it a little bit.
He should be able to pass him here. He's losing it.
Yeah, both those guys went sideways.
Ruiz outside, inside, and there goes Adi into the pits.
All right, lap 37 as we come around. This is pretty much the game. Oh, Ruiz going off the track. You know, we've been watching Ruiz drive quite a bit, and honestly, I don't think I've ever seen him drive by himself. And he might rely on driving with other people to kind of know his braking and where he needs to be. So him going off track, just for that turn one might be him, not really knowing his lines.
That's a good point right there, not picking his spots out. That's something a lot of the younger drivers don't really know to do.
Yeah, he could have
pick your landmarks, pick your points.
Yeah, it could have been a small mistake, but as we follow him, we can watch his times and see if his times drop off. Because that would be really evident of him, being good at driving behind people and driving against other people and playing defense and really being an active driver in the pack. But when you start to stretch out and pretty much you're driving against yourself.
Like a drunk man driving by Braille?
Yeah.
Needs some line to follow.
Yeah. So, he might not be good against driving just against himself and just doing time trials, which, that's a very key and important thing to have down pat.
Oh, yeah. So Singleton in the 22 out front. There is Andreas Rios, the number 9, as he comes through the carousel turn there, heading towards the stripe. That's going to drop another lap in the books here. 38 of them in the ticker. 51 makes up the distance.
And as we look at the field right now, Andrew Singleton, Andrew Ruiz, Carl Handwerk, Jaden Kratasi, Robbie Yachty, Jack Bulche, Kobe Wells, and Andrew Combs are all alive and out in the field running.
Bulche, is that the Frenchman?
I believe so. I believe it's that, or it's just built, or bolt,
or bulge.
Yeah, it is probably bulge, and I'm just like trying to throw a French accent on it.
Oui. The Scotsman, we need the Frenchman, the Englishman, the Irishman, and the lone American.
There you go.
But it's Singleton in the 22 out front there. There is the number 12 as we look at Robbie Adi, who stayed out there for a massive 19 laps before taking a pit. And now he is paying for it. But you know what? He's in 5th place.
Yeah, he that might have been a strategy. Maybe he wants to extend this run out just as long as possible, so he sets himself up for the last stint.
12 laps to go. Still
Yeah.
a lot of time.
Trying to have a little bit of fresher tires than everyone else and just stay out there.
You're looking about 18 minutes away from the finish of this race.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just running a little calculator in my head. Maybe 17 minutes now. Adi with a 124, though, with fresh tires, definitely picking up there as our leader just clicked off a 125. Fastest time held, though, still is Andrew Singleton with a 123.881. So very, very impressive. I love that shot right there.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite cameras. I usually like to pull them back a little bit, but sometimes they don't like sticking, so I have to just go with what it generically
Fly
has.
off the car?
Yeah. They sometimes run the poles into the fence.
That's awesome. That's taking realism to the next level, my friend.
Yeah, especially on those trophy trucks for the short course, it's pretty awesome to watch the suspension and the tires just bounce.
Trophy trucks race desert, Pro 2s and Pros 4s race close course.
My bad.
That's okay. And then at Best in the Desert, we call them trick trucks. And then in the Mint, we call them unlimited trucks.
Okay.
But they're all trophy trucks. Unless you say trophy dash truck, which is another copyright. No, just kidding. You wouldn't believe the crap that we deal with on that.
All right. It looks like I need to get the paperwork out and start researching terminology.
Actually, I'll bring over one of my Lucas Oil Off-Road books for you to look at.
That would be perfect, actually.
Talk about suspension travel. You know, and of course, I'm sure, you know, with like some of these larger tracks, these cup cars run, you know, with the restrictor plates, they take into play here also, correct?
Yes. Yes, they do.
The detuned versions.
Oh, yeah. And actually, that brings up with restrictor plates and a very interesting topic with racing in general, where a lot of people like to find loopholes in
Yes.
the driving in driving. With iRacing and esports, you can't really find loopholes
There's
when
no
it comes.
gray areas.
At least when it comes to the cars, there's not too much of a loophole. I know that some tracks there's little things that we call glitches that people will take advantage of, like they call like wall bouncing.
That's what you were telling me, that when the car goes through another car.
No,
glitch?
that would be net coding,
net
where they it desyncs with their PC and then it comes back and it drops them into the map of where they're supposed to be on the track.
But somebody else happens to be there.
Yeah. What sometimes happens is when they're scanning and developing these tracks, you know, these guys have to go through and code it and do software coding for the whole track. Well, sometimes they miss a section. You know, we're only human, and they might miscode a section. So there's sections on some tracks that they have fixed now, but it happens when they release new tracks that
Incredible.
you can hit the wall and it does no damage to your car, but it acts like an object and it just didn't get polished as actual like damage or an object.
Rubber bumper.
Yeah, and it'll bounce you off like you're a bumper car. So you can actually gain speed off some short course tracks that actually have that.
That's awesome.
They call it wall bouncing.
Very interesting.
So there are glitches or loopholes in that sense of like just people or just errors in that sense.
Where's the guy on the dark web that's already found the hack in the code? Up, down, left, right.
Yeah, there are people
Shift
out
to
there.
second to third, hit the brake pedal, and then start.
Yeah.
All right, Singleton still out front, but Ruiz trying to track him in here. Singleton with 10 laps to go. Audi, who's been clicking some fast times, but right there with them, Singleton. Both of those guys run 125. Ruiz, 2 seconds off of the 127. And look at handwork there with a 126, so very close. Wells also still up in the mix. Then you got Bolge, Jack there, we'll just call him, Jaden Kratasi, and Andrew Coombs.
Yeah, and we might actually see a lapped car coming up between. It looks like on the back end of that of the keyhole we saw Jack there, so we might actually see Singleton catch up to Jack. You okay there? Uh oh. I hate when that happens.
Oh my God. Okay. Sorry about that.
Well, if it helps you, I am EMT certified.
Okay.
But that's about 8 years ago.
You got a 6 foot mouth-to-mouth device.
I believe that's called a lead pipe.
Lead pipe. That means just bury me in the backyard when you're done. You live in an arroyo, in a canyon.
Yeah.
Great shot there, the black and teal machine of Ruiz. There's, we can see that big gap up at Singleton there.
And then Carl Handwerk right behind him, trying to close that gap for second place.
Yeah, Handwork in the number 18, all white machine.
And I think this is probably our finishing battle is going to be between second place right now, between Carl Handwerk and Andrew Ruiz.
You think Singles is just another zip code right now?
Yeah, I think so too. You can't even see him on the keyhole.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, if we take a little, as we watch them come around, you know, if he was, you know, within, I don't know, a second or so, I think that might be, you know, you could reel him back, but you're talking about 20 seconds of a lead. He's gone. He's sailed away.
So there's a great shot there again.
You'll catch him coming through that corner. It looks like that camera guy's back in business.
Yeah, it's a great shot there as he's throwing it off there again. That was the shot where he shot through the China Beach and the Esses where we lost that earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, through the chicane part of the track, which at about 130 miles an hour comes up quick through there.
Yeah, it's it's funny. You look at this track from a really distant view sometimes from the blimp cams. You feel like it's a long track, but sitting in the car, these corners come up real fast.
Yes, they do.
It's pretty unnerving how fast these corners come up. Even on the keyhole, you're opening it up to third, fourth gear, and you're already the moment you hit that 200 marker, you're stepping on those brakes. It's pretty gnarly.
So we're looking at about 8.5 minutes. We should see the end of this come to the checkered flag.
Yeah.
I know these guys are counting down until they get to the white flag here.
And I'd like to point something out. Even though we've had quite a bit of drivers drop out from the race, we have not yet had a caution come out at all. It's been a green flag run.
Smooth.
Yeah, talking to some of the drivers before the race, they said that the car's not handling the way they would want it to, and it possibly might be a rough run. And it's been rough for some of the guys out there, but I think overall it's a good run in the sense of being green flag.
With this being the series, of course, some series will look at it, you drop one of the races, whatever. Is this one of the cases in this series, or
no?
Should you stay out there, get those points that you need, because it is a long season?
No, this is one of those seasons that they have to stay there. They need those points. They do have substitute drivers if they can't make the race, but they need to be on the track to get those points.
You have to submit the list of substitute drivers before this happens.
Yes, you do.
Cool.
Before the race, you have to submit your substitute driver, and I believe you only get one.
I love it bringing realisms. Is that 1 weekend to fill in?
Yeah, 1 week.
Or 1 week, or...
Yeah. 1 week prior to the race, you have to submit your driver.
Yeah, sometimes what we do in some of our racing, if it's a doubleheader weekend, you're allowed 1 weekend.
Okay.
If it's just if it's only one round that one, then you only could use up your one fill-in driver that one time. So
yeah,
a lot of the guys are like, oh, something bad's going to happen.
And honestly, and looks like we're getting a pass by Carl Handwerk.
Ooh,
putting some pressure.
Handwerk and Ruiz
and
now.
We got contact.
Ruiz really off his game. He ran a 128 that last time around.
Yeah.
That's why Handwerk was right up in his back porch.
Yeah, he's trying to knock down his door. And here he goes.
He's not going to be able to do it this one. He was set up for a little higher there. Oh! Ruiz blows it, goes out into the sand trap. Has to pull out the sand wedge on that one to get out. And Handwerk makes easy work of him.
Yeah.
No pun intended there, but down to second.
That's that's
so
what
we talked about. Just when you think it's over, you're up in a podium position.
Yeah, you just someone makes a mistake just by putting some pressure, and he did bump him the prior turn, but
Ruiz, I was looking at his times, and he really slowed down there. It being roughly around 3 seconds off that last lap. This last time around was a 128.399, and Handwerk was a 126.699.
Yeah, so
that's why he got so far up on him.
Yeah, and I wonder if it may be a little bit of fatigue for the driver coming into that. Or, we did see Carl Handwerk and Robbie Audi time their pits differently. Is this what's the result of it?
The tire's starting to go. He has Handworks tires, a little bit fresher there.
And look at the gap. Singleton is back in front of these guys. They closed the gap by 20 seconds.
Ooh.
I'd totally
5
just...
laps to go.
Yeah. Oh, and you know, take that back. Singleton went in for a pit. Singleton pitted 3 times.
Oh, wow.
He's got fresh tires. So he used that gap to go in for a pit.
That was very smart. And there it is. It comes into the strategy once again.
Yeah.
See, you talked about Singleton playing the long game.
Yeah.
Well, he did. I thought for sure Audi was going to play the long game on that one too, but
I did too.
It didn't pay off. He played too long in the second one.
Yeah, I think so.
If he would have pitted a little bit earlier, I think he would have been running up front and would have been able to get another third pit in possibly. So Singleton actually went in 3 laps earlier than everybody else from the first and second.
He did,
pits.
yeah. He was one of the first ones to drop in.
Yeah. He was in, I believe, in lap 14 on the first stretch.
Well, looking at his times right now, he's still not doing a good job in the sense of running lap times. You know, he ran a 145 on that last one. He did have a rough run.
Ooh, that really
And,
slowed him down.
Yeah, Carl is just...
That's the worst lap that anybody's had there. What happened on that one?
I think he might have gone a little wide. Fresh tires. Maybe they
they're
just
still
weren't tacky
cold.
enough. Yeah.
I haven't gone up to temperature yet. That's when they get the stickiest.
Yep. So that's also, you know, he did time himself so he could go in and grab a pit, but you're coming out on cold tires. And then you got someone that's probably like midway through their tires right now, and, you know, they're nice and sticky, a little bit loose, but manageable.
Well, everybody now with 46 laps, so they went in about 32. I don't think anybody's halfway in tires. I think everybody's at the end of their tires right
Oh,
now.
you think they're at the ends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty much with the pits because they came in anywhere between 14 like Singleton and then all the way to Audi at like 18 laps. Audi pushed it the most.
Yeah. So maybe that's what we're just seeing is, you know, the difference between being a little loose. And it looks like this lap's a lot faster. He's got a 3-second lead, 4-second lead. He's putting on time now.
Yeah.
So this, you know, he just needed that one lap to warm up and get back out there.
But I think you're right. That first half a lap, your tires are going to be a little cold, a little bit slick out there. And you also said that, you know, it depends on the temperature of the track itself, too, and what the weather is.
Yeah.
What are we looking at weather on this track today? I got to start learning all the little cues to this.
Well, as so right now, I can't pull up a weather card. We do have some weather that was set for the track ahead of time. But I'm trying to get some more overlays.
72.
Yeah. Looks like there's a blizzard out there tonight. Just so you can see the grass. No, with actually doing broadcasting and stuff like that, you know, we have to have overlays. So, you know, the program that runs everything in the background, that pulls all the data from the game, I don't have one that has a weather card, and so I'm trying to work on, you know, getting those built in.
Yeah, because even with motors, you know, the weather, you know, depends on how they're going to run. Cool, crisp days versus a warm and humid day. You know, the motors are going to perform a lot worse on a warm, humid day than they are on a cool, crisp day.
Oh yeah. So that's
Cooler
you know,
temperatures. Oh, that was a camera right in the wall there.
Yeah, that's getting close to tearing my cameras off. You know, each one costs about $10,000, so please be careful.
4 laps to go here. Andrew Singleton of the 22 still in command. Carl Handwork and the number 18 running second, and Andreas Ruiz in the 09 running third, followed by Adi, Ritashi, Coombs, Wells, and Bolsch.
And I think we got a battle coming up with Andrew Ruiz and Robbie Audi.
Oh,
those two getting back at it again.
This is the battle for third. This is the battle for a podium with 3 laps to go.
And Robbie's around him.
There it is. Adi up into third place. Ruiz now back in position. 1 step off the podium.
Now, do you think Audi's going to be able to reel in Handwork?
I don't think so.
He's got 5 seconds. Or 5.8.
No, not possible. Not with 3 laps to go.
Unless he makes a mistake.
Unless somebody makes a mistake.
Yeah.
If he runs a 145 again, or a 148, yeah, then he's going to catch him.
Yeah.
But this last time by, he was a 125.3, and Adi was a 127. So that's 2 seconds right there.
Oh, my bad. I was looking at the wrong time gap. We're looking at...
I'm looking at their lap time each, this
Oh,
last
yeah.
time by.
Yeah. I was looking
That's
at
a
their
good
gap time.
That's an indication to me right there.
And if we zoom out, yeah, he's definitely nowhere in sight really to reel him back in.
We're looking about 30 plus seconds,
Oh.
32 seconds.
He's all the way into the carousel, and
Yeah.
he's coming through Thunder Valley. Yeah, no way.
No.
I take that back. I thought he was a little closer. Yeah, unless there's a big mistake out there. He's pretty much the same distance in the sense of, him and Singleton.
Singleton and I believe Handwork would have to slow down, hit each other.
And I think I actually caught a battle out of the corner of my eye between the number 11 and
Combs,
yeah.
12, Combs.
Or no, I believe it was Kobe Wells and the number 11.
4, okay.
Yeah, it looks like we have a battle in the rear.
Oh, yeah, the black 4 there of Colby Wells. Andrew Combs in the number 32. Now, I happen to look over at a little screen over here. It says probation.
Ah. Which one are you reading that for?
Well, it's saying Bolger and Adi. Is that another class?
That was for a previous race on Saturday.
Okay.
we can talk about that while these guys go into onto the last lap. So Mark Love and Robbie Adi were, so I've heard, were clowning around on the track.
Ah.
So they were. This is what I've heard. That they were pretty much just dancing around each other, but like also pit maneuvering each other just for fun. This is all hearsay. I didn't see it myself. So Robbie and Mark, this is what I've heard. So they're
just asking questions.
Yeah. So they were clowning around on the track, and the drivers didn't take too kindly to that.
Understandable.
And if it was a broadcast event like this, I definitely wouldn't take too kindly to seeing that either, just because that's it's unprofessional.
It's all funs and games till somebody loses the position.
Yeah. So they said no position was lost or gained, and other people going back and forth. But and all in all, they got probations.
Then haters will be haters.
Yeah.
Final lap is out. Andrew Singleton in the 22 in the lead. Carl Hanworth and the 18 in second. Robbie Adi with a great one, had an early lead on the day. Late into the second pit, he takes a loose position and then fights his way all the way back up to third in the podium position. Looks like he's going to hold on to it. And you can see Ruiz has now dropped back to fifth. Cortese in the number 10 car is now moved up to fourth. So we did miss that pass him early on.
Yeah, and there we go, finishing off with Andrew Singleton taking first place.
There it is. Singleton across the stripe and the checkered flag.
What a great run.
That was an awesome race.
Yeah, wow.
Really watching all these guys there. I mean, we lost a few racers early on here, but strong 8 there held all the way to the end. No cautions.
Yeah,
We went all the way to the green flag to the checkered flag. I love it.
That's the part I'm happy about. It's no cautions, honestly. With road courses, that's usually something that, well, at least in iRacing, is kind of a common thing when you take a road course with NASCAR. You're going to see something happen. These guys did a good job keeping themselves spaced out if they were having an issue.
Drove clean.
Yeah, very.
Well, we did see a little bump early on, but it was just a little love tap.
Yeah, it wasn't like someone got their nose in and really wrapped you around the corner.
I think he was just saying
Yeah.
He goes, well, I'm still 6 feet away because, the driver's seat there, he just gave him a little bump. He just wanted to get a little closer.
Just wanted to see what's going on inside the cockpit. Don't mind me.
Wanted to see a 6-foot pole would touch him.
Yeah.
Oh, cut it out.
Oh, and there we have it.
Awesome race, guys.
Yeah. All right, so while these guys finish off their last lap, and I believe Singleton's, or not their last lap, but Singleton finishes off and goes in, he's probably going to run some donuts right on the front.
An awesome finish of the ISRC first race of the series here.
Yeah. Or no, this is race number 4. And there we go, Singleton.
There's the donut. Open up the donut shop, my friend.
Yep. And
no,
it looks
no
like
grass donuts?
looks like Jaden Kurtasi coming to join the action, and I think he's looking for the sand. Nope, he's just gonna park it and watch the show.
Looks like he's going to do something there.
He's probably gonna punt him. Yep, like a lion coming after his prey.
He's stalking. The Mustang sits in the grass sand pit as he stalks the leader of the pack to take away the main position and the leadership.
I think he's trying to show him how to do some burnouts.
This is how you do it. This is how we do it. There we go.
Clipping a turtle out there. Be careful, man. Straw's already dangerous for him.
There you go. Our leader pulls in the pits into victory lane.
Pits are kind of long here. All right, let's go ahead and drop the results for tonight's race. So, once again, Andrew Singleton taking first place, Carl Handwerk rolling up in second, Robbie Oddie in third, Jaden Kurtasi in fourth, Andrew Ruiz in fifth, Kobe Wells taking sixth, Andrew Combs taking seventh, Jack Boulger, we'll go with that, in eighth, and then Liam Sheen taking ninth, and then Austin Johnson taking 10th. So that's our top
Liam's
10.
got to be the Irishman.
Yeah. Wow, what a race!
That was awesome.
Let's get these guys
So
in the
impressed
booth.
with these guys.
Yeah, I just with Singleton, because Singleton had a rough run in the beginning.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
how
coming
we
back.
do it.
Yeah. All right, so let's pull these guys into the booth and see how they like the race. All right, so let's move. Let's see if Singleton's out there. Let's go ahead and grab Singleton first. Hey, Andrew, this is Booth. You copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. So I'm a little speechless. That was a really gnarly run. You know, you had a rough run in the beginning. You were you clocked in at, or you pulled in at third place, I believe, and then you had a corner you just took a little wide.
Yeah. Well, the second turn there, I broke way too late on that first lap there and went into the grass. I fell all the way back to last, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm screwed.
What? So you had that issue where you did go a little wide, take the grass, and then you decided to pit first. What was behind that?
Yeah, well, that was the only way that I thought I had a chance, and luckily it worked out that way because I knew I was way behind Robbie and everybody else. So I was like, maybe if I pit first, they will have to, they will also have to, but it seemed like since I pit first, I had the lap times, the faster lap times. Mm-hmm. So that was really nice. So I think on lap I pit on lap 16. Robbie, he stayed out for 4 or 5 laps, and I was surprised.
Yeah, he stayed out lap 19.
Lap 19, he went back in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the great thing is you were actually able to get a third pit in there too.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I did. I had no idea that he was that far behind me until I was looking at my relative, and I was like, oh crap, he's not gonna pass me.
Now
I was like, oh my god.
Right after you came out though, as we looked at your lap time, you were at about $1:45, 46 there, where being constantly you've been in the 125 range. Did you have an issue with the tires, a little slick or what?
In my opinion, I didn't really have an issue. I was trying to go a little bit not hard. That's what my motto was. I was not trying to go hard and spin the car out because Robbie and everybody else seemed to have an issue with spinning the car or going way out, way wide or something. And so my motto was just to stay in one range, not too fast.
Slower's faster. Just
be consistent. Exactly. Yeah. Slower's faster. So that's what my motto was the entire race.
Well,
awesome run.
Yeah, it paid off. I guess one more question when it comes to the cars. How'd you feel about it? Because I ran a couple laps and honestly I had a really hard time. They felt really stiff and the brakes felt really like in the sense I was talking about like a muscle car where you had to really stomp on them to get them down there.
Yeah. So it seemed like this track was very unique. So it drives really weird. It drives strange.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, and probably, everyone else did notice that because there were a lot of people that did not like the setup on this track. But to be honest, I found you had to have more skill, like saving it, because this car was loose the entire time. You were on like you were gonna spin out almost every turn because of how loose this car was throttling.
Yeah.
So you had to have a lot of throttle
control, and then also just being able to
control.
compensate a little bit and maybe do a little Scandinavian flick and whip it back.
I did that a few times today. So I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
So really, that was the reason why people did not do good, because of the throttle control. You have to have you have to have it at this track because it's just so unique.
No lead foots allowed.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be gone in the grass the first lap if you're a lead foot.
Yeah, that's definitely something you can see out there. Well, great job, man. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, not as many as my previous weeks. Midwest Mayhem Motorsports. I want to thank them. So my car that I'm running, technically that's not the sponsors that I should have, but I would like to thank Diamond Motorsports as well. I don't have a scheme yet because Jackson is being lazy, but I like to thank Diamond Motorsports, Midwest Mayhem Motorsports, and C4 for hosting the league as always, and you for broadcasting. I appreciate it. Hopefully it was kind of fun. This race was a long race though. It was probably pretty drawn out, but I appreciate it.
It was a long run, but we actually got really lucky, and there was a lot of battles throughout the race. There's maybe 10 laps total of like just stretched out cars. Most of the time you guys were doubling up and fighting for position, so it was pretty good throughout the whole track.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I saw too. On my relative, I could see that for most of the race.
Well, great job grabbing first place, man. I pulled you a little bit out of order, but I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you. You too.
All right, now for the next person, going to go ahead and pull Robbie Yachty. I just realized to pull Andrew. I usually do third, second, and first, but we'll back up and go back to that order. Hey, Robbie, this is Booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Hey, man, you had a hell of a race this whole race, and you stretched it out quite a bit. You went 19 laps, I believe, that first run. What was the thought process behind that?
Horrible thought process. The one thing I took out of this race was I cannot do math. I had way too much gas to the end. I just messed up the fuel run.
Okay.
It was either a 2-stop or 3-stop. Me and Carl was a 2-stop, and the second run, I just saved way too much, which it's something to learn about. And I had about 20 minutes of practice before going into this race.
Well, honestly, for 20 minutes of practice, you did a great job out there. You led pretty much almost the whole race, and then until you had a pit and it changed up the field a little bit. But even then, like midway through the race, you're eating people up out on the track. I think you drove the best out there on some pretty worn out tires.
Yeah, one thing I realized in practice was how easily, once you start sliding the tires, it was just going to get getting worse and worse. So it was really important, use more brake to save the tire on corner entry, really play with the throttle on corner exit, use all the track. It was, those downhill braking zones were killing on the tires to really back up those corners and just keep the car as steady as possible.
They worked out in the sense of just kind of keeping it on the track and then running down good times.
Yeah. I was surprised Singleton won, not because he can't, just like I saw the 11, I think it was, Jack, Carl, and where's the other guy?
You're talking about Andrew.
distance. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Singleton surprised me too because he had that early pit, and then I kind of wrote him off. I thought he was pretty much done, and then we'd check back and forth, and he'd still be kind of like fifth, fourth place, and then that last section he'd just pop back up there.
Yeah. Singleton's always been good on road courses. I don't know. I think his last one was at a road course, so gotta give him props for that. He had the right strategy. I feel like I could have went. The problem was each run I had to save gas, so I couldn't run the speed I had to.
How,
So it was.
I guess for your tank size, how long, how many laps were you looking to get out of full, or out of how much gas you had?
Well, I was trying to. So what's 52 divided by 3? I don't even know what that is, but
That's what calculator. You want to jump in there? I want to say it's like 12 or 14, but I know that's not right.
It's a lot.
Well, I mean, if
18, isn't it?
Yeah, because it would be 15, 13 would be 30. So you go to the 45 would be another 15. So you add 5 onto that. So yeah, 18.
Yeah.
So you did 18 laps roughly. You could have got on the fuel, but you went 19.
So yeah, basically I had to do that every run, and but without saving, you can go 16 laps. So I just had the wrong strategy coming in. I had no practice or preparation. That's on me. I feel like I was a lot faster towards the end of the race because I just knew what I was doing. But,
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like when your tires wore in, you actually got a little faster. We're looking at your times, and you dropped in the 124s.
That's because I was saving tires on the short run. So basically, what I was doing was some of those guys were just sailing into the corners. So like for some guys, right, you'll see them hit like, let's say just for this purpose, say they were hitting 21 threes at the beginning of the run, but at the end of the run they were hitting like 20.
They hit about 27 to 25.
Yeah. So basically, what I did, I just flattened it out more, right? So go slower on the short run, go faster on the long run because the long run's longer than the short run, if that makes sense. And that's why the fast guys always save. I got out to a bit of a lead at the beginning, and then I just wish I didn't pick the strategy I picked. It's just really kind of frustrating.
Still impressive. You made it all the way up to third place as we saw you deep in the field. I know it's frustrating after leading the first part of the race, but to come back like that was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I probably would have won if I didn't go off track a billion times because I was only 15 seconds behind him at the end, and I felt like I probably lost about. It would have been really close at the end.
You were actually 30 seconds at one point. You cut that in half, which was just mind blowing. We're trying. If you had a couple more laps, you might get them.
I was expecting you and Carl to go neck and neck for a short period of time, and then we like backed out and looked at it again, and we're like, oh yeah, maybe not. But it's definitely a close one coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I just gave up at I caught one of the guys, but because he burned off his tires, I think he was trying to save a bit of fuel. But I was really surprised Carl made it. I don't know. I'm really excited that Carl joined this league because it's not that this league doesn't have talent. It's just that he adds talent. Because Singleton, he has not the last few races. I haven't seen him this fast since maybe season 4 or 5. Like me and my buddy Mark call him the Jimmy Johnson. He has all the championships, but
I think he's coming back with some vengeance this year. I think that's what it is.
I think next week we're at Michigan, which I'm not excited for at all. It's wide open. Can be a good show for you guys, but for me,
pedal stomping.
Yeah. Overall, I'm just trying to get into the playoffs. Felt like we came out of here with a P3. It's better than nothing. I wish we could get more drivers. I felt like the setup wasn't like Watkins Glen setup wasn't that good of a setup for this track just because Watkins Glen, right? So it has no downhill braking zones, and it's like a super speedway of the road courses. I felt like a Sonoma setup or something like that would have been better.
Yeah, I think they maybe should have just tweaked the setup for like just setup purposes. Maybe do a little bit of a custom one. But yeah, overall, it felt really kind of for me, it was stiff. When I was testing it with the first couple of laps, it just felt kind of like the car did not feel like it was in his natural zone.
Yeah, well, the gearing was one thing. Like, first gear was too low. but you didn't really use fourth gear at all. So it's but everyone. The thing about fixed setups, everyone has the same setup.
Yeah.
But hopefully next season we go like we didn't even have a good attendance. If we go to like a walking plan or Sonoma or a track that people know more, maybe we'll show up or even a rollable. But
yeah, I think since this was a purchase track, I probably thinned the field out. But coming into next time, I definitely think a Watkins Glen probably would have been a better stretch to go for.
Yeah, for sure. But
Watkins Glen's good, but Sonoma.
Sonoma's fun. Sonoma, I love Sonoma because it's like you're sliding all over that place. You really gotta save tires. Like it's kind of like this track, like no grip at all, like just no grip. But yeah, I was joking with Singleton last week. Like Singleton, I'm 1 win away from tying you on that all-time wins list, and now I'm 2. Sucks.
Yeah. Well, we got to get to the next guy, man. Great run today, and I'll hopefully see you next week, and put on a good show.
Thanks. Before I go, I just gotta thank for Racing and Darius. Thank you, guys.
Definitely, man. Talk to you later. Yeah. All right, we have our second place. This is gonna be Carl Handwerk. How you doing tonight, man?
What's up, buddy?
Not much. Just watching you, hit the wall a couple times and totally trash your car. I can't believe you finished in second. That's pretty amazing.
Well, first of all, I hit it once, so you need to calm your tits over there. But yeah, and honestly, I was kind of talking to the guys over in Core and kind of getting some feedback if I should use my fast repair on that second and final pit stop, and I thought better of it and just kind of banked it just in case there was a late incident or something like that because it really slowed me up that much.
Yeah, and I think it was your car held together pretty fine after that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was just, I'm sure you heard it before, but it was just a trash setup. And honestly, it was drivable, but it wasn't fun.
No,
I mean, when you have to tiptoe around the entire track, it wasn't fun. You like to get in and race the car a little bit, and you couldn't push anywhere.
Yeah, like I said, I ran a couple laps, and I definitely I then just switched down to second gear and kind of just rolled it through.
I was going to say, if I ran a couple laps, you mean you pulled out of the pits a couple times and spun and then reset and then pulled out of the pits? I pulled out of the pits 5 times and I spun twice and I did I hit a couple walls head on. Then I finished one lap and I was like, yeah, okay, that's it. All right, so typical practice for you. All right, yeah, I gotcha.
Thanks, man.
No, but all in all, I mean, good race. I'll take second, and I kind of figured I was maybe a top 5 car after that first run, and kind of realizing after I made my first pit stop that wow, I can actually make this on one more pit stop. So just kind of backed up the car and really tried to save on that second one, and just saved literally just enough. I think I had 0.1 or 0.2 gallons left in the tank, and I barely eked back the pits after the check flag.
Wow, that was a close call.
Yeah, it was incredible watching the run though. In the second half, after that, your pit stop, how you were able to stay right in the middle of the pack, where a lot of the guys were dropping back deeper in the field. You and also Singleton, where we saw early on, Audi really dropped back right after his pit stop.
Yeah, he definitely had some issues keeping the car on the track, and I think it was just kind of same thing, a product of just a rough setup. And it's it's a good car, and you can definitely work that track, but you really just need the right gearing to be able to drive around there. I mean, you're better off almost setting up that the gearing only uses 3 gears, and you just never touch the 4th gear, and that'll make it a little bit more drivable and a lot more fun. But anyway, yeah, I mean, either way, we made it home.
Yeah.
with only a couple bumps and bruises.
Well, way to go, man. Is there anyone you'd like to thank before we end the show?
I just want to thank the guys over at Encore. They were watching me the pretty much the entire race and kind of helped me out, even if after Kevin Foster hopped out, the great Kevin Foster.
Yeah,
and Michael Gamble was over there helping me too. So I definitely want to thank them for that.
That's good to have those guys behind you. They're definitely someone you want to count on when you're in a tight spot.
Yeah, especially when you have the great Kevin Foster spotting for you. I mean, I feel special right now.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised to see him fall out. I think he just felt bad that he was going to take first place, and he just wanted to give you guys, at least a good run for your money.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I figured, he wanted to start in the back and just kind of school everybody by driving right through the field. But he's like, you know what, I'm gonna let somebody else have this tonight.
Yeah, he was feeling a little humble.
Something like that.
All right, man. Thanks for coming out tonight, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks a lot, guys.
You got it, man. All right, and that is going to be it for tonight's race. Once again, that was race number 5 for the ISRC, and then we have, in a couple minutes, actually, just going to be jumping right back over to the Core Racing Series. So we'll have a small intermission, but once again, I'd like to thank our sponsor for tonight's series, which is BED, Big Evil. I believe it's Big Evil Designs. I can't believe I just. Yeah,
that's all, folks.
Exactly. But once again, thank you for tonight's race. Everyone did a good job tonight, and we'll be back at ovals. I believe it was Michigan that's coming up next, so it's going to be a little bit easier, more in these guys' wheelhouse, and we'll see what happens. So once again, I'll see you guys in a bit, and hope you guys, I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes or so.